Good afternoon, evening, morning to all of my wonderful spirited living folks on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. I'm thrilled to be back here, Deborah Roth. And this week with our Inner Goddess team, the place that we honor and celebrate the divine feminine within all of us, within ourselves, hopefully to bring back the qualities of honoring our intuition, honoring our emotions, honoring the energy of collaboration, of cooperation. So, and this is actually a perfect time to do it because this is the week of the new moon in Cancer. And I did a little blurb about that yesterday. And Cancer is all about those things. It is ruled by the moon, the primary divinely feminine planet, body in the sky. So, and what I thought would be wonderful, I'm actually about to head out to my new moon circle in Central Park. I'm so excited to be able to be doing one outside, to be doing it live right now. And it's a perfect one. Our Inner Goddess team member that we are honoring and drawing up, putting in front of us all and foremost in our hearts is Annapurna. She's actually an emanation of the very powerful, revered Hindu goddess Parvati. And the reason that she's so perfect for this Cancer new moon week is that she embodies the sacredness of food, the holiness of food. She is in fact, her name means that. Anna means food and grains, and Purna means filled completely. So filled completely with food and grains. And in that respect also, she's very much about prosperity and making sure that we have enough. She's the giver of food. She's the goddess of nourishment and cooking. And Cancer is very much about the home. It's about the mother. That's going to be the theme of our new moon circle tonight. And I've written about that. I've written about how we also honor home as a sacred place. These are all Cancer, new moon Cancer themes. So she's a perfect one. And she's the first one that came up when I kind of put out there what are considered to be food and nurturing goddesses. Of course, in cultures all over the world, there are goddesses that really embody that energy, but she's very specifically around food and nourishment. Now, her festival days are typically not celebrated now. They're usually around, I think it's called the, Annapurna Jayanti, which is usually sometime around December in the Hindu calendar. However, that's a good example really of what I often say here, and that's that we can celebrate these goddesses any time of the year. We can celebrate their energy and call on them when we need whatever their messages are, whatever their gifts are. And please, if you want to just poke around on my YouTube channel, you can subscribe there. Just go to Deborah Roth on YouTube if you're not there already, and find out some of the other goddesses that may or may not be honored at a particular time of year that you're in, but who have a strong, powerful message, like this nurturing one that's such a perfect one for the beginning of summer, which is such a high time for nurturing ourselves. Remember, and please put in a plug here. Please do comment. Please do let me know if there's favorite goddesses of yours that I haven't covered. But I've covered a lot of them in the last 2 years. I'm actually going to be winding down and maybe not doing them every week. So if you've got more that are favorites, I would love to hear. And then think about the message for Annapurna and how you can call on her specifically is to bless your food. And you don't just have to do that. That's not just for times when we're celebrating, when there's an official celebration of her. She is, Monday is her day. You can do it any day of the week, of course. But she's, let me show you some images of her. Where'd they go? She's often depicted holding, let's see how well I can show it up here, holding a very jeweled sacred container of food and a spoon, showing how she can offer her food. Her followers, her really all of humankind comes to her for sustenance. And there's a wonderful story around her, which I'll tell you in a minute, kind of her most well-known myth involving Shakti. And then on the ground around her, again, I don't know how well you can see, there are many plates of all different things that she has to offer that really are symbolic of her promise to provide and to take care of everyone. And because of that, restaurants and Hindu homes, bars, any place that sells food have that are in any of the Hindu worshiping countries have altars for Annapurna, because they know that her special gift is providing sustenance. Now, and the other thing, and I mentioned, call on Annapurna when you got very specific, when you want a blessing for food, when you're preparing meals. And it's a reminder to prepare them with mindfulness, to prepare your food as though it's a communion, as though you are creating something holy to imbibe in yourself. We do that often in my new moon circles. In fact, tonight we're sharing watermelon that we'll be charging on the altar all night. We'll call on Annapurna to charge it with sustenance, so that when you eat it, you're eating her holiness, you're eating her sustenance. And it's not just the physical food, it's actually the idea of nourishment in action. A beautiful thing and I'll include this in the notes on YouTube. Through Annapurna's grace, we become goddess, breathing nourishment, wisdom, sustenance, and love into the food we prepare. Isn't that beautiful? And so it reminds us to honor our temples, if you will, our bodies, on a daily basis. So it's not only about preparing food, but consuming food with that kind of reverence. That is a great way to really acknowledge and celebrate and call on Annapurna. Now her mythology is the other little picture that I have, so I have to hold it up very close. Her mythology involves Lord Shiva and Parvati. Remember I said that Annapurna is actually an embodiment of the goddess Parvati. And every day Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati would play a game of dice. And one day when they were playing, Lord Shiva just kept losing. First, he lost all his sacramental objects. He has a snake, and then he lost the trident, and he kept bidding things in order to win them back, and nothing worked. And soon he had nothing, and was very humiliated that he should lose this way. So he went to Lord Vishnu, the head guy, and he told him that everything that was supposed to happen had happened, but that if he went back, he would make sure that he would win everything back. A little dubious there, right? So he goes back to play dice once again with Parvati, and suddenly is winning. And she gets a little suspicious. She calls him a cheat, and of course that leads to a big argument. And Vishnu hears this argument going on. He says, I don't want to hear anymore. All of this is an illusion anyway. That the game that you have been playing is all an illusion. And Shiva adds to that everything materialistic is just an illusion. So this very much ticks off Parvati, who says, food is not an illusion. We need food to survive. All of our worshipers, all of humanity needs food in order to survive. It is not an illusion. And she says, so I'm going to go off now and withhold food to the world, and we'll see how long you survive. Don't tell me that this is an illusion. So she does that. She disappears. Nature comes to a standstill. There are no changes of seasons. Everything becomes barren. And everything becomes infertile. Nothing grows anymore. Severe drought, or a huge shortage of food. Well, Parvati has a very deep heart. She loves all of these people, and she can't stand to see her children that are starving. So she appears in the form of Annapurna and starts distributing food. Shiva, of course, at this point realizes his mistake, and he realizes that that the world cannot exist without food and without Shakti. So he appears before Annapurna. One of the myths that I read said he doesn't realize it's her at first, but either way, it's Goddess Parvati in the embodiment of Annapurna with a baking bowl in his hands. And he says that he realizes his mistake, that we can't dismiss food as an illusion, and we do require it to not only nurture our body, but to nurture our soul. And she now is now worshipped as the goddess Parvati, in the form of Annapurna, is worshipped as the goddess of food. Annapurna Devi is what she's called. And as I said, it's believed that if you cook and eat your food with an attitude of holiness, that you are in fact embodying the goddess Parvati, Annapurna Devi. So that's the story. And I will, let's see, let me find, I don't have a singing chant, but I have a beautiful chant that I do pretty well with Sanskrit, because I sing a lot of chants in Sanskrit, but I'm not going to attempt this one. I will invite you, though, to just close your eyes for a moment, and I will read for you a prayer that you can make for Annapurna. And again, I will put this in the description on YouTube, before you eat, a little prayer before you eat. So just settle in, take a breath, open your mind and your heart. O Annapurna, complete in all things, in the breath of Lord Shiva, sheltered, for perfect wisdom, I am your beggar. To you, Parvati, give me alms. So imagine yourself with your bowl, your begging bowl, reaching out to Parvati in the form of Annapurna, so that she may provide you with sustenance for your body and for your soul. Thanks so much for joining me. I'd love to hear about your interactions, your connections with Annapurna, and how you connect with this Cancer new moon this week. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.